Morning and welcome in the next video lecture of radar and TV engineering. Today we have the new topic of TV engineering, that is camera tubes and the picture tube. So these TV transmitter camera tubes and TV receiver picture tube is used to convert the image into the electrical signals, and then at the receiver the picture tube is also used to convert the electrical signal into the picture or image. So these are the basic fundamental of camera tubes and picture tubes. TV transmitter camera tubes and TV receiver picture tube. These are the main content of this video lecture. To learn about the basic fundamental of the CCD cameras, to understand the basic concept of picture tube, students will also learn about the working of the picture tube and construction, working, and how the image is converted and picturized at picture tube. The outcomes of this video lecture is student will understand the concept of the CCD camera, understand the construction and working of CCD camera and advantages, disadvantages of CCD cameras. They will also learn the picture tube. Students will also learn a type of picture tube, which type of the picture tube is used in the TV receiver system. These are the textbook and references. The monochrome and the color television second edition RR Gulati 2015 US publications. Some references are also given here to understand the concept of TV system. Now come to the CCD camera. What is the CCD camera? In the previous lecture, we have already discussed the camera tubes, and now we have to discuss the CCD type of camera. In the previous lecture, we have discussed the Vidicon camera tube and the working principle and the advantages of the Vidicon and other camera tubes. We have also discussed the types of the camera tube construction, working principles, and the how the image is converted into the electrical signal through camera tubes. So these sensors are the operating on the principle of charge coupled devices. Here, a large number of the CCD array are formed together construct the image plate. P-type substrate, a thin layer of the silicon dioxide is formed, and by masking and etching process, an array of metal electrodes are formed. A large number of small metal oxide semiconductor capacitors are formed on the surface of the substrate. So P-type silicon type substrate is used, and oxidation on the top of the substrate is formed by the silicon oxide, and by the application of the small positive potential at the gate, every third electron is connected to the common conductor. The charge transfer in the CCD device, how the charge is transferred into the CCD device. The spot under the each metal electrode serves as a light sensitive element. These electrons are collected in the potential valve and represent the optical image. The charge stored in the one element is transfer to the next element by applying the more positive voltages to the next gate. CCD cameras, the horizontal shift registers, vertical shift registers, and sensor, and we have an output. The charge movement takes place like this. The charge is moved to the end, is collected to form the signal current. The one-dimensional array, as explained above, is used to represent one scanning line. These lines are independently addressed and output is read out using the address register and write phases. So this is the photo sensor, or we have a vertical shift registers and the horizontal shift registers and amplifier. Through this diagram, you are able to understand the concept of how the image is developed in the CCD camera. The image is converted into the electrical signal. So photosensors are used here. Photosensor is a device which sends the light from the image and the brightness and colors and other signal from the source, or the photo from the object. So photosensors convert the image into the electrical signal by converting the photosensors is connected with the vertical shift registers, and the vertical shift register is also connected. All vertical shift registers shown here is connected with the horizontal shift register, and this complete output of shift register is given to the amplifier. So amplifier will produce the electrical signal. So this image is converted into the electrical signal. Now CCD image scanning, how the image is scanned to the CCD. The CCD image scanner consists of a large number of CCD devices arranged in the rows and the columns to form an image area. Individual lines are addressed sequentially using an address register. The output circuit will contain the electrical representation of picture information. It does not need an electron gun, become high voltage or vacuum envelope of conventional camera. For interlaced scanning in the cameras, the charge transfer to the vertical shift register is accomplished in two stages. The odd number rows followed by the even rows. Next, the charges in the vertical registers are shifted into the horizontal shift registers and clocked to the CCD output. All the odd rows are clocked out first, followed by the even rows, even feed. The rate at which the charge from the horizontal shift register is clocked out is governed by the number of the elements, that is the pixels per row and video standard the camera complies with. The main advantages of our CCD cameras is the high sensitivity, image lag absent, spectral response good, sensor withstand excessive illumination, no geometrical distortion or non-linearities, lightweight and low power. So these are the main advantages of CCD camera. It is very important to understand the concept of CCD camera. Now, with these some advantages, we have some limitations or drawback of the CCD camera. So, requires the external processing unit. The CCD camera is required external processing unit to process the image into the electrical signal. Relatively high power consumption is required, and the expensive because of it is used the some sensors and registers, so that's why it is sometimes it is expensive. Now the main application part of the CCD cameras, the barcode scanners, cam camcorders, and fax machine. So these are the main part of application that is used in the barcodes, scanners, camcorders, and the fax machine. Now we have a video processing of the camera pickup signal. The optical image is focused by the lens on the glass face of target plate. The optical image is focused by the lens on the glass plate of target plate. The lens regulates the light by the iris built into the lens housing, and the output of video signal is taken across the load resistance. So the image is converted into the electrical signal. The optical image is focused on the lens and the glass plate, and then it is producing the video signal, and which is taken to the across to the load resistors. So this is the principal diagram of the camera tubes, how the camera is developed the video signal. The light from the scene is focused on the lens, and the lens is produce the signal that is light signal, which is passed to the on a deflection is on a glass plate or target plate, and the cathode gun is produce the electron beam. So on the glass plate to target plate, so correspondingly electrical signal is developed, and Vidicon blanking Vidicon type of the our camera tube is generally used to produce the image into the electrical signal. So the output of the glass plate is provided to the load resistors, and we have a preamplifiers to amplify the output signal. Signal processor sync adder or synchronizing pulses is added by the sync adder, and the blanking pulses is added at the signal processor and the sync adder in between of the signal processor and the sync adders. So in the Vidicon camera tubes or camera tube, we have a magnetic deflection with focusing coil. The arrangement of the deflection and the focusing coil is used to deflect the electron beams and maintain it at the center. And it's focusing the coil. So correspondingly, we will get the video signal output. Important box. How this video signal is developed. Amplifying the weak low voltage signal from the load resistance RL. Addition of the blanking pulses and the addition of the sync pulses. So the low weak signal low signal or weak signal is amplified by the amplifier, and we have an addition of blanking pulses and the addition of the sync pulses. The signal current or the voltage across the load resistance RL. So a pre-amplifier is used at this stage. So amplification is required at the stage of output of the camera tube. The output terminal of the camera tube is to avoid the external interference. In the second stage, we are using a signal processor to add a blanking rise during the horizontal and the vertical with trace intervals. Sync adder circuit is used to add the synchronizing pulses in the output of camera tube. The output waveform has a voltage of 1 volt peak to peak across the 75 ohms as shown in the figure, that is be located at the some distance from the camera tubes. Now, principle of the working in the block diagram of color TV camera. Before discussing the color TV camera, we recall that the how the black and white TV camera is convert the image, optical image into the electrical signal. So, image is focused on the lens, and the lens pass the signal or image and collect the image, and it is focused on the glass face plate, and the electron beams are focused on the glass plate, and correspondingly the signal is developed, and this signal is again amplified, and sync and blanking pulses is added into the signal, and then this signal is developed at the load, and we have the signal these signals are at the load resistance at the 1 volt peak to peak at the 75 ohm resistance. So we have to develop the signal at the output of camera tube. So now we have the color camera tubes is used to split the optical image into the primary colors. And these primary colors are the red, green, blue. The special type of the mirror called dichromatic mirror is used. This is the diagram how the light from the picture is come, and this picture is light is converted into the three primary colors, that is the red, green, and blue. So a special type of the mirror is used, that is the dichromatic mirrors, which splits the light and it converted into the three primary colors. So here we have a lens assembly and light source from the picture, the color conversion and the natural density filters, and relay lens, and we have a red, green, blue, three type of the voltages is developed at the output of the dichromatic mirrors. So we have some relay lens which producing the relay in the light densities, and M1, M2 are the some dichromatic mirrors. So we have the output of the relay line, that is the red camera, green camera, and blue camera. So three primary colors is developed at the output of the That is the red dichromic mirror reflect the red colors, and all other color to pass through it. The scene is focused by the zoom lens package on the dichromic mirror setup, and they are passed through the color filters. These filters can provide precise primary color images. Each camera tube develops a video signal voltage proportional to the color intensity received by it. A video preamplifier amplifies the VR, VB, VZ, red, green, and blue signals. In the output stage, a resistance network is used to generate the luminous Y signal and color signal. The resistance values are so related such that the Y equal to the 0.3 R plus 0.59 Z plus 0.11 B. So this is the equation for the luminous signal, that is the Y, and color signal. If only red color light is focused, then we have only the red camera output VR. Then it will comes 30 upon 30 plus 70 into VR, it is 0.3 VR. Now we have after discussion the camera tube. Next the tube is the picture tube. Picture tube is used at the receiver, and again I am explaining that the picture tube is a tube which convert the image or electrical voltage into the image. Now specifications: the size of the picture tube is general denotes the diagonal length. The size of the picture tube ranges from about 1 to the 30 or more. So the size of the picture tubes is ranges from 1 inches to the 30 inches or more. Most of the commonly used tubes in the black and white TV and color TV are 51 centimeter and 36 centimeter screen size. The tube 500 AM-P4 has a diagonal length of 500 millimeters. The last alphabet P specifies the screen phosphorus. So picture tube is having the range from 1 inches to 30 inches in the black and white color television system. And the case of the color television system, it is having the size of 51 centimeter to the 36 centimeter screen size. The monochrome picture tube specifications: the commonly used picture tubes manufactured in India and marketed by the Bharat Electronics Limited are 310 C1P4, 470 C1P4, 6110 C1P4, 590 CP4 picture tube. Employs the electrostatic focusing and electromagnetic deflection system. So all picture tubes are based on the principle of electrostatic focusing and electromagnetic deflection. Means the electron beam is focusing to the target or our screen, phosphorus screen, and the electromagnetic deflection is used to maintain the horizontal and vertical deflection of electron beams. In the next section, we have the construction working principle of the monochrome picture tubes. The picture tube is used to convert the video signal into the optical signals. The construction of the picture tubes is the main parts: electron gun, focusing anode, deflection coils, final anode, phosphor screen, and external conductive coating. So these are the main part of the our monochrome color picture tubes. In the next section, we have to discuss the one by one. So first we have to discuss, this is the principal diagram of a picture tube. Here we have a cathode, and cathode is produce the electron beams by there is the electrostatic focusing and reflection coils to maintain this electron beam to at the center, and this beam is focused on the screen of phosphorus coating, and inner side of this phosphorus coating we have a aluminizing coating, and outer side of this phosphorus coating is having a glass face plate. So signal is applied, received signal is applied to the cathode, and this cathode generate the electron beams. So control grid, and we have a accelerating anodes and focusing anodes and centering magnets and inclusion error magnets. So we have a G1, G2, G3, three grids in the neck of picture tube. This complete arrangement is enveloped in the glass envelopes. Electron gun, the electron gun unit reduce the bandwidth, helps in the minimizing interference with the sound and picture signals. NTSC system, the selection of the color subcarrier. So in the NTSC standards, we'll discuss now the selection of the color subcarriers, how we can select the color subcarrier. Color subcarrier is the selected considering the following. CSC, that is color signal, must be an odd multiple of the half line frequency, that is 2n plus 1 into 15,750 upon 2. Hence, 2 into 227 plus 1 into 1570 upon 2 equal to 3.583125 megahertz would have been used. However, the CSC, that is the color subcarrier, and sound carrier needs to give an interference at 0.92 megahertz. To minimize this interference, sound carrier frequency must be an even multiple of line frequency. Sound carrier is fixed at 4.5 megahertz. Due to the compatibility reason, line frequency is fixed at 4.5 megahertz upon 286. That is the 15,734.26 hertz, which is close to the 15,750 hertz. 525 upon 2 lines get scanned per field. Field frequency is made at 15,734.26 upon 262.5 equal to the 59.94 hertz. Slight difference of the 15.74 hertz in the FH and 0.06 hertz in FB. No much effect on synchronizations. Therefore, the CSC color subcarrier system is equal to the 2 into 227 plus 1 equal to the 15,734.26. That is the 3.579545 megahertz is used. So this is the color subcarrier frequency. To obtain the exact color subcarrier frequency, a crystal controlled oscillator is used. So this is the NTSC carrier and bandwidth requirement. How much bandwidth is required for luminous carrier and chrominous carrier in the audio signals. Total bandwidth is the 6 megahertz for NTSC system, and including the chord band of 250 kilohertz. Now, block diagram of the NTSC coder transmitter. So this is the complete block diagram of NTSC coder system, which is used to transmit the signal from a transmitter antenna in the 6 gigahertz channel bandwidth. So color signal is transmitted through this in the form of the I and Q form of color subcarrier. This is the block diagram of the NTSC receiver system. In this receiver, again, we have used the super heterodyne type of receivers, and we have a color signal that is the red, green, and blue. So three different signal is produced, and the antenna is used to receive the signal. So this is the complete block diagram of NTSC receiver. Now, color killer circuit, when this circuit is on, it biases off the chrome band pass amplifier during the monochrome reception. It prevents the any spurious signal in the pass band of the chrome amplifier from appearing the demodulator during the monochrome receptions. This colored interference is known as quantity. A DC bias is generated at a APEC circuit if the color burst present, which can switch off the color killer circuit. Color killer is the on for monochrome reception and off for color reception. Receiver recognize a color or bandwidth signal by the presence of absence of the color burst signal. Now we have some disadvantages of the NTSC system. So this system has some drawback. So we'll discuss again the drawback of the NTSC system. Be highly sensitive to the transmission path difference, causes the phase errors, which cause the error in the picture colors. Phase difference can occur while switching between the different cameras. Phase is also changed when the signal passes through the different circuit elements. Now I am discussing with you that is the PAL system, which is the next color TV standards. After discussing the NTSC system, which is used in the American countries, PAL system is used in the Asian countries or European countries. So it is known as the phase alteration line. The weighted color difference signal, that is the R minus Y and B minus Y, are used and called V and U respectively. So V equal to the 0.877 R minus Y, U equal to the 0.493 B minus Y. U and V signals are at a phase difference of 90 degrees. Both the U and V signals are at 90 degree phase difference. In order to eliminate the phase error, the phase of V signal is reversed in every alternate lines. Hence the name phase alternating line, phase alternating line system or switching burst. both U and V have the same bandwidth, that is the 1.3 megahertz. From signal is the vestigial sideband, upper sideband of 0.57 megahertz. Lower sideband is the 1.3 megahertz. The phase of the V modulator is inverted at every alternating line. The color burst has the two components, that is the minus B minus Y component and plus minus R minus Y component. So these are the two color burst difference signal in the pulse system. The resultant color burst has a phase shift of the plus minus 45 degrees about the minus B minus Y axis. Now the selection of the color subcarrier frequencies. F is the stand for the frequency. Subcarrier is an odd multiple of H upon 4. To this, a factor of Fp upon 2 is the added to provide the phase reversal on successive field, that is the 25 Hz minus Fsc equal to the 2 into 567 plus 1. Fh upon 4 plus Fb upon 2 equal to 1135 into 15625 upon 4 plus 25. So Fse is equal to the 4.43361.875 megahertz. So in the case of the color TV system, that is the PAL color system, we have the color subcarrier frequency is the 4.43361.875 megahertz. Allows the better cancellation of dot pattern interference. The PAL color burst, this is the phasor diagram of PAL color burst signal, U and V signals, which is the 90-degree apart from each other. Now resultant burst phase for line N is from 45 degrees. This is the PAL signal bandwidth diagram. So in the PAL system, we follow the 7 megahertz bandwidth, and this figure shows that the guard band, that is the 250 kilohertz, and luminous carrier at the 1.25 megahertz, and chrominous carrier at the 4.43361.875 megahertz, and audio carriers. So we have the total frequency bandwidth for the PAL system is the 7 megahertz. Cancellation of the phase errors. So in the case of cancellation of the phase error, this is the phasor diagram. First is the no phase error. Second, and show the subcarrier phasor on two consecutive lines whilst. Third is the depicts location of the resultant phasors at demodulators. Note that the phasor U plus JV chosen for this illustration represents a near magenta shades. This is the figure B, cancellation of the phase errors. PAL D system. This is the in the PAL D system we have U and V output of UV-DV modulators, and it has some adder and subtractor. This is the PAL coder or transmitter section. How the signal is transmitted in the case of the PAL transmitter section. So this is the complete block diagram, shows that the PAL transmitter section. This is the PAL D receiver. So antenna is received and tuned for VHF and UHF frequencies, and we have a RF type of the super heterodyne receiver for the audio and video signals. So in the receiver signal, color signal is developed in the form of D minus Y, G minus Y, R minus Y. Three color text signal is developed, and this signal is given to the picture tubes. So this is the PAL receiver diagram. This is the again another type of the PAL receivers. Now we have a new type of the color TV standard, that is the SECAM, sequential color A memory, or sequential color with memory. It is used in the French. In the SECAM, only one of the color difference signal is transmitted at a time, that is during the one line. The other color difference signal is transmitted during the next line. Because of the odd number of the lines per picture, if another line carries, that is R minus Y signal during the one picture, it will carry the B minus Y signal during the scanning of the following picture. A delay line of the 64 microsecond is used as a memory to produce both the color signals available simultaneously. The determination of proper sequence of color line is done by identification pulses. SECAM third, the one variant of the SECAM commonly used, that is uses the 625 lines 50 feeds with the channel bandwidth of the 8 megahertz. So there is the difference in the three schemes in the bandwidth. In the NTSC, we used 6 megahertz. In the PAL, we used 7 megahertz, and SECAM used 8 megahertz channel bandwidth. Sound carrier at the 5.5 megahertz. Weighted color difference signal are called dr is equal to the 1.9 R minus Y, and dB is equal to the 1.5 B minus Y. So FM is used for the sound color subcarrier, and hence phase changes does not produce URRs. The weighting factor for R minus Y is minus 1.9. The color subcarrier is at 4.4375 megahertz. However, for suppressing the dot pattern in the picture, two separate subcarriers are used, 4.40625 for R minus Y and 4.250 megahertz for B minus Y, 272H and 282H. In the next, we have a color difference signal, that is the bandwidth is the color difference signal bandwidth is 1.5 megahertz. The pre-emphasize is used before the FM. A second level of the pre-emphasis is done, known as the high frequency pre-emphasize. This increases the amplitude of the signal and improves the signal to noise ratio. Switching between DR and dB take place during the line synchronization. Pulse and line identification signals are used to identify and proper switching of the color lines. This is the SECAM coder or transmitter section, how the signal is processed and transmitted through the SECAM coder and transmitter section. So through this block diagram, we are able to understand the concept of transmitter. This is the SECAM decoder. Here the signal is decoded from the antenna, and composite video signal is received by antenna and is decoded and the Y signal and DR and DB signal is produced by the circuitry, and finally to amplifier and make matrix signal is the VR, VG and VB, which is applied to the picture tubes. Now we have the advantages of CCAM. Because of the FM, CCAM receivers are immune to phase distortion. Since only one chrome signal at a time, there is no possibility of crosstalk between the chrome signals. No need for QAM at transmitter. No need for separate manual hue and saturation control. Due to the above, CCAM receivers are simple and cheap. Now we have some disadvantages for the CCAM scheme. The vertical resolution is inferior because one line signal combines with the other to retrieve the color. Luminance is represented by the amplitude of a signal and saturation by frequency deviation. In case of signal fade out, their luminance may be attenuated, but chrome not affected. This may make color more saturated during the fade out. Digitizing CCAM is difficult since only one color difference signal is available at a time. Now we have some multiple choice question on the basis of the color TV picture tubes and the color TV standards. So first type of the multiple choice question, which type of the amplifiers are used in the high level transmitter? A class C amplifier, B class A amplifier, C no amplifier used, and D none of the above. Question number 2, in the digital TV ADC conversion is done by A pulse code modulated system, B DPCM, C delta modulation, D adaptive delta modulation. In a TV receiver set, sound and video signals are separated at the A video detector, B video amplifier, C sync separator, D IF stage. The three primary colors in the chrominance signal of a color TV are A red, green, orange, B red, green, blue, C blue, green, magenta, D yellow, green, cyan. Next multiple choice question, that is the fifth question. A television system having the that is the n is equal to the 525 and p is equal to the 25 frames per second has a horizontal sync frequency of E 50, B 15,625, C 625, D 525. This is the based on the NTSC scheme or NTSC system. Next, the signals sent by the TV transmitter to ensure correct scanning in the receiver are called A sync, B chrome signal, C luminance, and D video signal. Next, seventh question. The interlacing is used in the TV frames to A reduce the illusion of the motion, B ensure the scanning of all lines, C avoid the flicker, D avoid the humming. Question number 8, the separation of the sound and the picture carriers in our TV system is in the megahertz, that is the A is equal to the 5.5 megahertz, B 4.5, C 6, and D 5. Question number 9. The equalizing pulses in the TV are sent during A. Horizontal blanking, B. Vertical blanking, C. Horizontal retrace, D. Flickering. If a normal line sync pulse width is 4.7, its width of equalizing pulse is its A 4.6, B 2.3, C 9.2, D 1.5. So the conclusion of today's video lecture is that today we have discussed the important part of TV receiver system. So the picture tubes is the very much important part of TV receiver system. Uh, this picture tube is convert the electrical voltage signal into the image. So in this video lecture, we have discussed three type of the picture tube. That is the delta gun, phase in line, and one more trinitron picture tubes. After that, we have discussed the different color TV standards. In this different color TV standard, we have discussed the NTSC scheme or PAL phase alternating line, and SECAM sequential color memory. So all three standards are used by different countries. So today we have discussed these color TV system standards and some multiple choice question. So our main objective of this video lecture is fulfill that the student will understand the picture tube and color TV picture tubes, and they will understand the concept and construction of the color tube picture tubes. They will also understand and differentiate the three scheme of the color TV standards which is used in worldwide. Thank you.